Let me tell you a story. There is a product that, some of you know our Samurai products relatively well. And there is a product called Email Samurai that has never seen the light of day. But let me tell you what happened. So we had an email list somewhere in the number of 300,000 to 400,000 at the time. And we were really frustrated with the email service providers that we were using. They were expensive and they were like the thought police. They wanted to stop us in 8 different ways, and we really were doing pretty standard kind of stuff. And one of the things in startups is it's good to be your own customer. It's actually good to be the person that's going to use your product because you've got an empathy for it. And so we said, we're going to fix this problem. We're going to solve this. And so we went about building an email marketing platform that we were confident was going to take over the world. And one of the key things is when you build, this is getting a little technical, but when you build email marketing platforms, most of them are third-party systems. They actually sit outside of your website, and so you're consistently having to integrate off to these systems. And so there's some really good systems out there at the moment like HubSpot and Infusionsoft and even MailChimp and other bits and pieces. You've got to integrate to them. And so we said, what about if we could build a system inside of WordPress? And the reason you would do that is half of the websites that are built in the world today will be built in WordPress. You would literally have half the market, and you could build stuff integrated inside WordPress that would automatically know about a lot of the stuff that's happening. It would be smart enough to know, and the integration would be so much easier. And so we went ahead and built that. And we beavered away and we beavered away and we beavered away. And at the end of that process, we were really proud of ourselves. We thought, we've built something really cool, and we thought, let's go and start showing people. And so we went and started taking it to customers. In fact, there are people, I think, in this room that we might have even taken it to. And then we had a sad experience. People gave you the look that you sometimes give your relatives when they've done something and you don't want to tell them that their baby is ugly, but it's not good. And we started having the experience of, oh yeah, that's good. Yeah, that'd be good. And when we started to push into it, what we actually discovered was the big problems that we had weren't problems for other people. Most people don't have lists of 300,000 to 400,000 people on their email database. They're lucky to have 300 to 400. Most people, the integration problem, it's not even on their radar. Their version of solve the integration problem is ring Ben. And so, and in fact, the only thing that came out of it that they liked was that we built within it a component that helped people write the emails. It actually, because a lot of people struggle to write emails, and it gave you some coaching and other bits and pieces around that. And so we discovered what I call the ultimate waste. The ultimate waste is building something that people don't want. And it cost us a lot of money to do that and a lot of time. We did not need to run did not need to have spent the time building the software to run the interviews that gave us the information. We could have simply run the interviews with pretty pieces of paper. We would have got exactly the same information, but instead we spent something in the order of north of $150,000 of wage costs. It was not a trivial product to build. And 6 to 8 months of our professional lives went down the toilet. It was a lot of pain. If you can imagine, so if you're in the room and you've had failure in the tech space, we can very much relate to it. So it changed our thinking in a whole range of ways. I want to share some of those thinking changes and then give you some techniques to take a different approach. The first thing that it did is that we discovered we are going to be wrong. In every project that we start, we are going to be wrong. It's a matter of to what degree we're going to be wrong and where we're going to be wrong. It is going to be wrong in some way or another. We discovered the value of fast learning loops. Let me talk about learning loops. Learning is a phrase in business that we use, or I have used at times, to commiserate. Something went badly, oh, but we learned some good lessons. And we tell ourselves when it all goes horrible, oh, we've learned something. And it's the phrase that we use to console ourselves. But deep down we think, I don't want to learn lessons, I want to succeed. I want this thing to dominate, I want to make money, I want it to be a great product, I want it to be awesome. And I've discovered that what we actually do need is learning loops. We actually want to, as quickly as possible, get stuff into the market, validate it, and do the minimum amount of work to get the maximum amount of learning that we possibly can. Another piece is the notion of problems before solutions. So a lot of people get enamored with their solution. They think their solution, and it's kind of the inventor syndrome. I've invented something and it's brilliant. This is my invention. Whereas actually, if you're in startup space, the key is you've got to find the pain. People ultimately pay to get rid of pain, and your solution is just one of a dozen different ways they can pay to get rid of that pain. And what you've got to do is you've got to start by getting really clear that the pain is there, that the pain is real, and that you're going to solve the pain. And we learned the value of minimum viable products, and we'll talk about those in a moment. So, changes in actions. We did lots of interviews. Some of you in the room, I've suggested you should go and talk to 5 customers. We spoke to, I think, 60 to 70. We did lots and lots of interviews, and I'll show you some examples from that in a moment. We gave out ugly, handwritten wireframes. I wasn't looking to impress anybody. I wasn't worried about what people's opinions were. We wanted to get wireframes into people's hands. We shipped embarrassingly low-featured software. I literally was embarrassed by we turned Email Samurai into another product called Content Samurai, and the first version of it, I was embarrassed. There was a whole bunch of stuff that I was sure we needed. In fact, it's a video production platform. I was sure that we needed a YouTube export function. That was critical. How could you not have, in my mind, it was boggling that we wouldn't have that. We're now 2 years in, almost 2,000 paying subscribers, $50 US a month. We still do not have a YouTube export function. And because what we've discovered was there was a whole bunch of other stuff that people cared about. So Content Samurai, as I said now, Content Samurai is where that has come from. And so we discovered that people liked the help writing the materials, and what they really wanted was help around that and ultimately to turn that into videos. And so we've created a video platform after a series of something like 60 to 70 interviews at various stages of production, and that is now a business that is absolutely the flagship of the Samurai business in terms of from a revenue perspective. And as I said, you do the math, it's about $50 a month, about 2,000 subscribers in the US. So it's doing well for a startup space. And interestingly, I still feel like it's only a small fraction of where we want to take it. A couple of things before we get into specific techniques. The process that we used, we stumbled upon this book. And this book, I've actually given this book to a number of people in the room. We stumbled upon this book, and it essentially gave us a really good step-by-step process to assess and validate a market. And so just in terms of a hands-on process, it's really good, and it focuses people a lot more on getting clear on the problem before they get people to try and fall in love with the solution.